So today marks World Food Day. With the rapid impact of climate change on the environment, concerns around food insecurity have come into sharp focus across the world. In fact, South Africa has in the recent past faced several challenges to its food system, with floods in KwaZulu-Natal affecting numerous suppliers and the Russian invasion of Ukraine affecting exports and imports. So how does South Africa deal with these challenges? Well, let's speak to Professor Sylvester Mpandeli, who's the Executive Manager for Water Utilization in Agriculture at the Water Research Commission. The Prof joins us via our video link this morning. And it's great to see you, Prof. Thanks so much indeed for making time to chat to us. How would you say South Africa is positioned when it comes to insulating ourselves from these external shocks, these geopolitical events that may very well threaten food security in this country?
Good morning, Ayanda, and your viewers. What we need to do, instead of just focusing more on high-value crops or, import products, we need to start promoting our underutilized or neglected crops. Yeah, I'm talking about crops such as amaranthus, blackjacks, and so on. Because these are traditional crops that use less water. These are traditional crops that are rich in nutrients. And these are traditional crops that adapt to local conditions. So it's an opportunity for South Africa to promote these crops in order for us to be able to unlock local markets. And where there are opportunities, we can also export these crops to international markets. We had discussion last week at the International Congress in Australia, talking about the same issue, to say we need to start promoting our indigenous crops. And these crops are mostly drought tolerance. Majority of them, they tolerate heat. And therefore, it's an opportunity for us to start diversifying our farming system. And then for us, as Water Research Commission, we are running a 10-year program looking at indigenous crops, looking at the indigenous fruit trees, looking at the indigenous livestock, and also medicinal trees. Because all these products, they've got health benefits, and they also address food security issues.
Yeah. Insofar as you're concerned, why do you reckon we're not necessarily prioritizing those crops, even as it is, given the benefits?
Yeah, look, one of the things that, we found out is that we need to raise more awareness. There's a perception out there that, if you eat traditional or indigenous crop, you are classified as a poor person or poor people. That is not the case. It's lack of information. We need to do more awareness. And in order for us to speed up the process, we need to link this up with our national development agenda. We also need to link up these underutilized crops with sustainable development goals, especially goal number 2, which deals with the zero hunger. So South Africa has got a very good opportunity. And the fact that, our climate varies from area to area or province to province, it gives us an opportunity to make sure that, we diversify our farming activities.
Yeah. Speaking about linking things up, we do know that the food system anywhere in the world is incredibly complex. In fact, it's described as having subsystems to it. There's wastewater management. There's, issues around energy. And insofar as that is concerned, I wonder whether you reckon we already have such a huge hurdle because of our precarious energy crisis when it comes to food insecurity.
That's correct. And I can give you another example. We are running a very successful flagship program or lighthouse called Water Energy Food Nexus. The whole idea is to try to bring in the water, energy, and agriculture sector together, because these 3 sectors are interlinked. Activities that are taking place within the agriculture has got serious implication in the energy or water sector. Therefore, we have got the responsibility to bring those 3 sectors together. Besides that, these 3 sectors have got a very interesting trade-offs and synergies, and we have got the responsibility to make sure that we don't need to look at the research and development and innovation, but also look at the science policy interface. And we also need to harmonize our activities among those three sectors. And this water, energy, food nexus is again linked to food security, nutrition, and health, because it involves energy when you are doing agro-processing activities and when you are harvesting your farming products and so on. So what we are trying to do is to drive our activities in a nexus or in an integrated way. And gone are the days wherein the water sector will work alone, the agriculture working in a small corner. We need to break that silo mentality and start to push our activities in a sustainable manner.
Yeah, speaking about sustainability, I wondered to what extent do you reckon our policies in this country allow for that to happen, allow for sustainable food systems to be in place?
Look, I think South Africa has got a very good policies, and the majority of those policies, they take cognizance of the interlinked or nexus or integrated activities. The biggest challenges that we are facing right now is the implementation. I can give you an example. Department of Agriculture, Land Reform, Rural Development have just developed a national strategy on underutilized crops, and it also takes cognizance of the role played by other key strategic sectors like your water, energy, and so on. What we need to do is to make sure that, we start to implement those policies, strategies, and also making sure that, we put realistic targets. We cannot keep on planning after planning. We need to take action and translate our actions into the ground. Our people are waiting for us, are awaiting the community of practice to come up with practical solutions. And this is what we need to do. It's not only in South Africa, but also in the SADC region, across the African continent, and also at global level. The program that Water Research Commission is running on water, energy, food nexus, it's at the global level.
Yeah.
We've got partners across the globe, Asia, Europe, Middle East, and so on. The same applies that we are doing with underutilized crops. We've got so many events across the country and also at region and international. What we need to do is to make sure that, we don't leave anyone behind. NGOs, various communities, and also making sure that, policies, colleagues are also part of the process, so that we speak with one voice, and also making sure that we produce sufficient food using less water. And such kind of food must be rich in nutrients. Otherwise, we are not going to be able to feed the nation come 2050 if those projections are correct.
Yeah. It's unimaginable, my next question, but, we've seen some of the most unpredictable turn of events globally speaking. Who would have thought that we'd live in an era where one country, for instance, is invading another and has gone on to potentially annex parts of that country unilaterally? My point is the global dynamic has become very volatile, and I wonder, whether or not countries like South Africa need to start thinking about ways through which we can secure our own food security without necessarily relying on the world. Is that even possible?
Look, there are a few things that we need to put in place. For example, if you look at the agriculture activities in this country, we are talking about both smallholder farmers and commercial farmers. These two groups, they are producing, quality food, food that are rich in nutrients and so on. But if you look at the post-harvest wastage or loss, it's a problem, especially with smallholder farmers, because majority of them, they are producing perishable products. And you need to have infrastructure or facilities to store such kind of products. What we need to do is to push more on agro-processing, but also at the same time, making sure that, we address issues related to food security, nutrition, job, creation, because our people need job. And once we do that, we are not going to rely on Ukraine, for certain, food products. We are not going to rely to other Asian countries for the food. The most important thing for us is to create opportunities for both, smallholder and commercial farmers. We know that, if commercial farmers are doing very well, gives us, opportunity as a country to earn foreign currency. And then for the smallholder farmers, if they are doing very well, we address food securities at households. And if they are producing surplus, then they will be able to supply those surplus to local vendors or local markets. So there are a few things that we need to do it properly. And I do believe that we need to engage as community of practice. We need to engage with policymakers. We also need to engage with politicians.
Very interesting insights indeed. Prof, thanks very much indeed for speaking to us. Really do appreciate your time. Professor Sylvester Mpandeli is with the Water Research Commission once again. Thanks very much indeed, sir. Plenty still ahead for you on the program.